Hello viewers and users of YouTube, how's it going? This is LARDLOGO coming to you with the June 2019 update, or I guess you can call it the Summer 2019 update. I plan on making updates with the change of every season. I hope you're all having an excellent day wherever you may be listening, because let's face it, when I make these updates, it's essentially nothing more than a blank screen. So you're looking at a blank screen, you're essentially listening. Anyway, hope you're all having an excellent day. Today has gone excellent. The Dodgers just defeated the Cubs 5-3, and then the Fremantle Dockers just defeated the Port Adelaide Power 100-73, I think. That was the topic of the filler before I uploaded this. The Dockers were actually on American television. They show AFL games on Fox Sports too, but it almost always involves Collingwood, the Magpies, the Peas, whatever you call them. I don't know why they always show their games. It was just really nice to see someone that wasn't Collingwood. If you don't know, you should know that I am a Fremantle Dockers fan, or as they call it over in Australia, supporter. I guess you can consider the Western Bulldogs my second team, because I like Bulldogs. I have a Bulldog myself. It's a brindle one. I just like Bulldogs. But I will never like the Georgia Bulldogs. Personally, my favorite SEC team is Arkansas, because their mascot is a pig, and I raised pigs in high school for FFA. So, anyway, I'm going to shut up and let's get on to this. First and foremost, the first thing I got to talk about, this channel now amasses over 1,100 subscribers, so I send out all my gratitude to everyone who is subscribed, and hopefully by the time I come to you with the fall 2019 update, I'll be able to amass possibly 1,200 or 1,500, hopefully 2,000. It all depends on how long it is before this channel finally gets taken down, because one of these days the copyright strikes are going to get this channel taken down, because I upload a lot of copyrighted stuff. This channel's been on YouTube since 2007. It's amazing how long it's survived. Anyway, let's get on with the update, shall we? I just wasted 3 minutes and 11 seconds of your time. Let's get on with what we're going to say. First off, I've got another video coming up soon. I just recently found a rare version of the Jeopardy theme song, a rare variant, and no, it's not a parody like the parody Closing Logos HD account or Daniel Walterberry or TEP Productions. Does he even do rare logos anymore? This is honestly rare. I found a rare version of the theme, which was used for promos back in, I'd like to say, 1990, 1991. It was right after they debuted the grid set. The one that they used from the early 90s up to 96, when they replaced it with the Sushi Bar set, which was the set that was around, that I remember seeing as a very young child. I obviously wasn't alive early enough to see the grid set. I've only seen it on YouTube, because nobody rebroadcasts old Jeopardy episodes. I know they're on Crackle. But I found a rare version of the theme. It's a short 30-second piece, so I'm going to upload it pretty soon. It's actually a pretty nice piece of music. It's actually really catchy, I gotta say. If they had any teen tournaments during that time, it would have worked really well as theme music Final Jeopardy theme, whatever you want to call it. It could even work today. It might sound kind of corny in the 21st century, but you know what? I guess they used the Rock and Roll Jeopardy theme, the short-lived version of the show on VH1. Anyway, I'm gonna continue onwards. Speaking of game shows, one of my favorite game shows has been revived. Press Your Luck's going to be on ABC this summer. New episodes. They're also bringing back Card Sharks. Loved watching Press Your Luck reruns as a kid on GSN. Still do to this day on Buzzer. And Card Sharks has really grown on myself. I wasn't too impressed with it when I first watched it, but after watching the late 70s version on Buzzer more, I've come to really like the show, so I'll give them a shot and give you my feedback as soon as I get to them. 2 episodes of Press Your Luck have already broadcast on ABC. I have them on my DVR. I will give my insight on them in the future. I think the Card Sharks runs tonight, and I say tonight because it's 2:31 a.m. as I'm filming this, Saturday, June 15th. 9 more days and I get to go to Everett. I'll explain that in a moment. But yeah, I got that Jeopardy theme coming up, and then my insight on the new Press Your Luck and Card Sharks. I'll give my 2 cents on that. But while we're on the topic of game shows, I do have something to get off my chest. What is Buzzer's problem with Supermarket Sweep? I mean, they started with 1991. They completely skipped the original 1990 season. Now, that's understandable, because they often skip the first seasons of many game shows. But they rebroadcasted the 1991 episodes of Death. They just got finished with the 1992 season. You'd think they'd move on to 1993. No, they've started over from 1992. Why aren't they willing to show any episodes past the original incarnation of the revival? I understand you got 40 episodes from the 2000 season, the first season of the PAX version of the revival on Amazon Prime Video, but I just don't understand why they can't advance onwards. I understand that the promos they have for the show on Buzzer all show scenes from the version they're rebroadcasting at the moment. I mean, the show started rerunning in January of last year. They should be up to 93, 94, or even 2000 by now, but you know, this is something I've noticed with a lot of other game shows. Buzzer sure likes to follow in the practice that we as game show fans like to call rerun abuse. It was a real bad thing with GSN with Press Your Luck back in the late 2000s. So anyway, that's just a small gripe I have. If anyone from Buzzer is watching this, you're probably just going to laugh at this, or you're copyright claiming my rips of the theme song. But please start rebroadcasting episodes not from 91 or 92. If you're going to rerun the original incarnation to death, at least show the 1990 season as well. Thank you very much for possibly listening. Anyway, let's get on to the things. First off, I mentioned that I'm heading off to Everett in 9 days on June 24th, 2019, which is this year. Hold on, I'll show it to you real fast. There it is. Turn on this light here. I'm going to briefly show this to you on my washer. Here we go. Gotta set the camera down. We're heading to Monday Night Raw at the Angel of the Winds Arena. We're about to witness a sinking ship because WWE is dying. I'm dead serious. They're dying. There's a pay-per-view in Tacoma at the Tacoma Dome the day before. It's called Stomping Grounds, and last I checked, they only sold about 25,000 seats out of a whole lot. If you want to know what I'm talking about, watch WrestleMania's video. WWE's turning into WCW. It sure feels like WCW in 2000, I'll tell you that right now. In fact, even the last show I went to, which was this past February, was the first time I had ever been bored at one of these events. I'm dead serious, I was actually bored. When SmackDown came there, I do have footage of several events I've gone to since the one I uploaded back in February of 2017. I'll try to somehow get those onto YouTube for those of you to see. As well as previous footage I have from an event in 2012, live event at the Angel of the Winds Arena. At the time it was the Comcast Arena. A SmackDown taping at the Key Arena in Seattle. It's the Seattle Center Arena now. They're revamping it for the NHL expansion team. This is one other thing I'm going to say. I'm going to say this. In my honest opinion, Quebec City should have gotten the NHL expansion team. They really should have. Even Hartford, or hell, even Milwaukee, or maybe even Saskatchewan. I understand Seattle and all, but if you want to get the market ready, the Washington State market ready, just put a WHL team in. Promote the Silvertips or the Thunderbirds or even the Spokane Chiefs or Tri-City Americans to the AHL from the WHL. I don't know if that's possible, but just... And since how we're on the topic of sports, I sent out my congratulations to the St. Louis Blues for winning the Stanley Cup, first time franchise history. Very tortured franchise, ownership crap, and possibly moving to Saskatoon back in the 1980s, always coming up short, choking in the playoffs. It's finally vindicated. I'm not a Blues fan. I'm a fan of the San Jose Sharks and the Washington Capitals myself, but it's still a feel-good story. And then congratulations to the Toronto Raptors for also winning the first title. You may be a division rival of my favorite team, which is the Philadelphia 76ers. But I'm just glad that someone took out the Golden State Yankees. That's what I call them, because they're like the Yankees in the 30s and 40s or the 20th century, always in the championship game. Hopefully this is the downfall and maybe other teams can get a chance to shine. It's amazing how both teams went from chokers to champions. Toronto Raptors used to be second round chokers, but they're not anymore. Yeah, so anyway, there's that. And I guess my secondary team, the other team I like in the NBA, would be the Sacramento Kings. I understand some people might complain, why aren't you a fan of any of the teams locally? Here's my problem. The Seahawks fan base is just awful. I'm not saying everyone is, I'm just talking about, the people who have been fans since 2012. Their fan base is insufferable and their uniforms are butt ugly. I'm sorry, but that's just my opinion. I'll still support Seattle teams, but I still like to choose out-of-state teams to be my favorites in most of this stuff. The Mariners, I can't really dislike them because they're pretty much the Detroit Lions of baseball. Well, to quote your name, Shree, I can't be a fan of them because I don't want to get punched in the dick all the time. Seattle Sounders not really into soccer or association football, whatever you want to call it. I do follow Burnley. But that's really about it. Seattle storm. I'm just not really into the WNBA either. Anyway, that's just a short explanation. Let's get on to the updates. I've said this many times. So, June 24th, I'll be heading down to the Angel of the Winds Arena to witness a shit show. I should hopefully have the film for you by July, because I do a lot of editing and stuff. Anyway, first and foremost, this Tuesday I'm heading out to the Bellingham subdivision to do some rail fanning. And so you can expect a video of that soon, unless I have to do blurring. If I have to do blurring, I go through a minute of the film a night, a minute to 2 minutes and 50 seconds between that, to see if I have to edit anything out. And then once that's done, I edit everything together and render it into one finished packaged video. And then that gets uploaded to YouTube. I haven't uploaded any train videos since, I think the last one I did was this last March when I went to the Bellingham subdivision, so hopefully we'll see some things. Anyway, getting on to the subject of sirens. It's kind of been hard to do. I haven't uploaded, not including the New Year's special where I cranked my Vixen horn siren, but I haven't made it out to any of the sirens in Whatcom County since December, and my honest reasoning is fatigue. There's no diversity in sirens. It's the same thing every time. It's just modulators. That's all it is. I get tired of modulators. I want to see I want to see more, and the tests are just chimes in the announcement. They're not actually setting it off. If they were setting it off every month, then you bet your rear end that I would be coming out there and filming them. The closest place that has anything unique is Skagit County in the concrete area. Well, that's 50-something miles away, and I really don't like driving down that road. I really don't. It's just an awful experience driving down the highway to get to concrete. But as you know, I went down there once in November. They do the whoop tone, which is kind of rare. But unfortunately, pretty soon I'll never be able to go down there again because of work commitments. I'll try and go down there at least one time this summer while there's daylight. But it's not going to happen anytime soon. I just get tired of Westminster chimes. They set the siren off one time a year. I'll try to make it out to whenever they do that. It's during the Great Shakeout statewide earthquake drill. I did actually make it out this past May to the one in Blaine. I was originally this is a quick story. I was originally going to head down to the one in Birch Bay. Unfortunately, the roads were under construction. Had to take the long way around. Made it to Blaine with about 5 minutes. Couldn't get down there set up in time. So I set up on one of those overlooks that go over the railroad tracks, and noon hit. I hear the siren in Canada going off. And then after that, I hear siren from, I'd like to say, Birch Bay going off. And I'm thinking to myself, this siren is still broken. I go to take the camera down. It starts going off. So I only got the last note of the chimes and the announcement on camera. And it had already been a real crappy day. I had been rail fanning before. I had missed the Amtrak. I had missed an oil train. I had missed the freight trains. And at that point, there was nothing running on the line. They had maintenance away going on. So I was just really not in the best mood. I just threw all that film onto hard drive, and I haven't looked at it since. Maybe someday I'll get it on here for you guys to see. But right now, I don't feel like doing that. I am working on, so anyway, I will try to go out to the sirens again in case you guys want to see them. I'll try and retake the shot I had planned to do in Blaine next month, if I can make it down there. And we'll see what happens from there. The only diversity in sirens is between 8032s and 6024s in the modulator series. I apologize to those of you who don't understand what I'm talking about. Just look it up. Modulator 6024, modulator 6048, modulator 8032. I have the videos on my YouTube channel. You should be able to see them. So, there's that. And I stopped doing EAS test videos because they're really the same thing every time too. That and my radio was unresponsive. The alarm on it would go off during the spiel the last time I did it. And then the last time I attempted to, they didn't test until after I shut the camera off. Once I get a genuine siren video on YouTube of a modulator or something, I'll do another EAS test, but I won't have the siren going off on it for the first few times until the radio actually registers it while the first tones are going off like it used to. One other thing I'm developing right now. Railroad crossings of Whatcom County. I'll go around to all the railroad crossings here. They're in Whatcom County and give you overviews on them. Just so you can see them before I send the pictures into Mike's Railroad Crossing website. That's a place I haven't been to in a while. So you can see what the crossings up here are like. If I go down on Tuesday, I'll start with the one at Marine Drive in Blaine on the Bellingham subdivision and try and provide a new overview with each visit I make to railroad tracks. And then in Sumas, I'll start with Garfield Street on the Sumas subdivision. So look out for that. And then I mentioned the most frightening logos countdown list. I'm going to try and start working on that in July or August. It's one of those things I consider the bigger projects. So it's going to be a while before I get started on producing that. Might not even hear about production on it until the fall 2019 update. That's really about all there is to say. That's really all I got to talk about. This pretty much concludes this summer's update. Be on the lookout for more videos here in the future. I'm going to go to bed because it's almost 3 a.m. I want to get up and be awake for a few hours because we got a swimming pool outside and I want to get in it. So, I thank you all for tuning in. Good night, and God bless.